Just testing some YouTube streaming here. This is just a free practice for the Kyoto 250. It's a qualifying session. It's well, it's in LFS. It's officially a qualifying session, but it's a free practice. Everyone's getting a chance to go around the track how they want. Looks like Mr. Patrick Hall here, number 32, has just had a bit of a spin. Haven't got TV Direct or anything set up, so you're just going to kind of see the default interface for the game. I'm just going to show you the rest. There's 44 minutes left. And, just answering a question for the... Just testing some YouTube streaming here. In the thread. Free practice for the Kyoto 250. It's a qualifying session. So what we've got, so we see Patrick Hall, number 32, trailing about 6 car lengths behind Mikhail Velikov.
User left your channel.
And what you'll see is most drivers will take the high line in 3, and as Patrick Hall does, kind of stay at the directly in the middle of the track. Get the high line, it keeps you more speed, does a little less tire wear. It's hard when you're in the draft, working the bump draft. It makes the tires have more of an effort. Turn 3 is the tightest. Turn 3 is the tightest on the course, and it does kind of stress the tires, and it's one that is very tricky in this car. Once again, just going to test the stream. I'm going to stay with you for the rest of this. Stay with you for the rest of the session. There's a few cars parked or staying in the pit lane. Patrick Hall is the only one on course as he heads back onto the front stretch. Another time on his 3rd lap. He may be doing just a mock qualifying run. Qualifying tomorrow, starting at 17 UTC. Twin 115, race 1 and race 2 following at 1830 UTC and 1750, or excuse me, 1950 UTC respectively. Very tricky in this car. And you'll probably hear anything else going on in the New Dimension Racing TeamSpeak channel I'm in. Stay with you for the rest of the session. There's a few cars parked. There's staying in the pit lane. Patrick Hall is the only one on course. Timetable so far is another time on his 3rd lap. Stephen Martin, number 991 with a 4801. Owen Harmon, one of his teammates, with 4802. Patrick Hall now just sets a 48, even as you see pop up on the screen. 1950 UTC respectively. You'll probably hear anything else going on in. Again, this is just testing, so you'll just kind of see. You'll see me kind of chatting, and since I'm the race director, Hall gets a little clip into the wall. Let's just watch in the cockpit view, driver's view. Takes a little high in 1 this time. He's Hall is one of the fastest here on the oval, one of the best performers in the oval. Not necessarily pure fast, but pure racing skill. A great racing skill. Hello YouTube, says Stephen Martin. Hello Stephen Martin. Hello to Sirida Sikis, who is helping us
User entered your channel.
administrate this year's race. So on with Hall, across the start-finish line, down towards turn 1.
User entered your channel.
Hug the white line on the inside at turn 1. Gently arc it out to the outside wall. Stay up against the outside wall. You want to try and straighten those corners. Straighten the track and make it as straight as possible, even though it is oval.
User left your channel.
Again, stay right about the middle
the hell was that?
dividing line of the track.
Oh, is there a race today?
There's a free practice session, Timo, and I'm streaming to YouTube right now for testing purposes.
Oh, wow.
You can watch on the NDR YouTube.
I got DWC tomorrow. I need to practice.
The inaugural Kyoto 500 champion attends to the Kyoto 250. This is Branislav Goga. He won the 2008 Kyoto 500 here at the Oval with the Formula V8 car. Pure luck how he stayed on the lead lap, and pure luck how he got the win. Took the lead with about 30-40 laps to go in that 2008 run, and had which had two Fragmaster drivers, Oliver Peterman, also known as FM Failure, and Jakob Lauberg, known as FM Benny or Lamer, his LFS world username. Shortcut the pit lane, were penalized for it, crashed right here in turn 3 when they were issued the drive-through penalty in a, as they called it, a surprise. So it's good to have Mr. Goga back. Here in New Dimension Racing events. Goga from Slovakia. And no team affiliation. Who's also on the track? We got safety car Steve Martin coming and completing a lap. With the 4827, Hall comes out to the inside with him.
User
We'll
disconnected from your channel.
leave the names up so you can kind of see.
User entered your channel.
Stephen Martin takes an entry into the pit lane. Looks like he's practicing right in. Ronnie Krampus also in. It's in. On the roof of Patrick Hall, 240 kilometers an hour. Into turn 3, down to just over 200. So it's a 47.98 that lap. His best is a 47.93 in a Q trim. Looks like he is doing a Q trim. Here. Goga doing a bit of a long run through turn 1. And it's going to be a very tricky race on Sunday, but also very challenging qualifying races on tomorrow, Saturday the 29th. You get one chance to set a fast
User
lap.
entered your channel.
1 hot lap, 2 hot laps, in lap. Whatever time you get, the best time of those 2 hot lap stands, and that's your lot. Top 2 in the hot lap qualifying are locked in 1 and 2 on the grid. Everyone goes into what is known as a Twin 115 qualifier race, based off of the formerly Twin 125s, now the Gatorade duels at the Daytona 500. Drivers who would be qualified in an inside file position, that'd be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc., etc. Go into race 1. Outside file drivers, that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, go into the second Twin 115. Top 11 finishers. Top 11 finishers in each Twin 115, minus whoever started pole in that Twin 115, will be ordered on the grid for rows 2 through 12 in the order they finished. So if you win the Twin 115 and you weren't the pole sitter, you'd start row 2, second be row 3, fourth row 4, and so on. And then rows 13, 14, and 15, the last 6 spots on the grid, are reserved for the 6 fastest who did not hot lap or race their way in. Those are the provisionals. Kagash doing a mock pit entry, or sitting with Ronnie Krampus anyway. Not sure if they're going to try and do some joint activity. Hall off of turn 3 again. Steve Martin doing a mock qualifying run, gently scraping the wall, using it to keep the car in a straight line, trying to scrub some heat in the tires. If you look, put up the tire display. Top left, you've got the left front tire, right front tire, top right, both getting some good outside heat. Top layer heat, the core heat, also heating up. The middle part that's kind of a sky blue is the inside core. See you slowing down, letting a car that is on a lap pass. That is Goga. We'll go roof cam for his mock qualifying run, if that is what it is. Whether he'll do mock qual or stretch to a full run. Patrick Hull just declaring in server that he's done 7 laps in a row under 48 seconds. If he can rail off that consistency in the race, he'd be in a pretty good shape. Especially if he can link up with someone else who can be just as consistent. Steve Martin taking a nice tidy line through turn 3. Just outside of the draft of Goga. It's 48-1. What have we got here? Zdenek Kagash, one of the long-time NDR participants. Coming through turn 3. 26:45 remaining in the session. 9 drivers have set times. Fastest Patrick Hall with a 47.93. Steve Martin, 48.01. Owen Harmon, 48.02. 48.03 each for Ronnie Krampus and Mihail Velikov. Jan Laprot sets a 48.07. Zdenek Kagash with a 48.15. Travis Wilbur with a 48.20. And Branislav Goga, 9th out of 9 with a 48.57. Kagash lagging. Here's Travis Wilbur. Looks like Kagash is covered. Travis Wilbur, a fairly newcomer to New Dimension Racing events. 27, Travis Wilbur, racing for Advocare Racing out of the United States of America. His hot lap is listed on Elvis World 48:21. As of 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 18 UTC, he's had 346 online laps. As he gets a slide on through turn 3, that will roast the tires, and he takes a not very proper, as it were, pit entry. Steve Martin works his way into turn 3. Most laps so far this session done by Mihail Velikov with 40 of them. Actually, no, strike that. That is Travis Wilbur having done the most with 45. Least so far by number 17, or by number 14, Branislav Goga with 17. He's actually just ticked up to 18, so that ties in with Zdenek Kagash with least laps completed. Patrick Hall's string of 7 sub 40 laps, or sub 48 laps, he had a... Now, I don't think that's true, because the tracker doesn't quite show that. How many did he say he had? He had a 47.98, then a 48.04, 47.95, 47.94, 47.98, and 47.96. So that's 4 of them. So Steve Martin does a 48.08 on this mock qualifying run. Ireland's own Owen Harmon coming out of turn 3. He's on what would be his second timed lap. Not sure if he's... And he'll be coming into the pits this time. In pit entry, you need to use the entire apron. You want to go fast, but you have no banking to help you. Owen gets a bit of a twitch on. And you have no banking to help you, so if you try to go as fast as you would on the oval, you will run back up off the apron back onto the track. So as Owen tours into the pit lane and into the pit box, in car with Zdenek Kagash, looking ahead. Well, we'll go roof cam. Looking ahead, Patrick Hall just up ahead. Not sure if they're going to try to link up and get some practice together with drafting or bump drafting. 21 minutes remaining. Patrick Hall pits in, Kagash continues on. Bit of a kiss to the wall coming out of turn 3 for Kagash. Would have cost him some time. He sets a 48.24 that lap. Bit of a tap of the horn from Mr. Kagash. We hear you. On board Ronnie Krampus. Race Green Autosports as he heads out of turn 3. Completed 33 laps. He's completed 30 laps. He did 26 on the track. Or he did up through 26 on the track. Had a 27-minute sit in pit lane. And came back out. Now on the... coming to start the 6th lap of this stint. Patrick Hull with a 47.90 at the top of the timesheet with just under 17 minutes remaining. Turn 2, a very bowl-like corner. It's kind of half of a bowl type corner. Pretty steeply banked. And can be deceptive if you're along with someone else. And it's also quite easy to catch the apron in that part of the track and send you sliding back up the track through forces of physics and varying things. Steve Martin coming out just near Krampusch, but I don't think they'll be close enough for drafting at this point in time. You'll see a lot of basic looking cars without many, if any, actual livery elements. Skin's not required until the actual event proper. These are just practice sessions to help fulfill entry requirements and get practice for the event. Mikhail Velikov.
No, what the
Sets a lap.
fuck?
That other voice you heard was Timu even in this TeamSpeak channel I'm sitting in. I'm not speaking with the TeamSpeak. They're all just kind of chilling, doing other things. Just over 11 minutes remaining in the session. So most drivers this session just taking time to set some laps on their own. Maybe work on setups, test fuel mileage. In the event we get a long green flag run with lots of solo running and maybe just a couple drivers. Because what can happen is if the first laps go fine, they can spread out pretty quickly, especially if someone does pit. A lot of times drivers, because of the history of the event, they will take a light fuel load for the start. Some drivers will take a light fuel load at the start in the thoughts that they will get to fill up the tank full early on. And then what drivers will do is they'll keep the tank, every time there's a caution, they'll just keep filling that fuel tank full until the point where they know that even if the race goes green all the way, they can, if they know from lap 52 they can go the rest of the race distance if they're at 100% fuel, then they will fill up as close to that as possible and go that way. They essentially back count. Hall catching Goga. May just be a function of the separate speed and pace. Both on long run. Goga working his 37th lap. Patrick Hall having done 36 laps on the session. And most laps, Travis Wilbur still with 55. Let's see if Hall bumps Goga at all, or just stays behind. Bump drafting will let you go faster, and again, being in a draft saves you a lot of fuel. Gets a bit of a bump on and makes contact. What happens is, if you bump square on the back, the way the number plates are, the license plates are here in LFS, there's a slight bit of extra, it's a slight different contact type. And what'll happen is you'll see a lot of times it'll be a hard hit, even though it's not really a hard hit. It'll think it's a hard hit just because of the way the collision mesh works with the number plates and the rest of the body. Steve Martin with a blank skin for some reason. Perhaps just a difference in the way that the skin's loaded this time in LFS. Sometimes happens. 6.5 minutes remaining. Wilbur and Mikhail Velikov, as Velikov gets the drive-through coming into the pit lane. Krampusch out of turn 3. In tomorrow's Twin 115s, each race will be 63 laps plus 2 pace laps. Compulsory green flag, all tire change pit stop is required. And you'll see a lot of the drivers, if not all of the drivers, dive into pit lane at the end of the first lap. There will be low wind on. Can't predict what direction or speed it'll be. You know, the LFS range is anywhere between 2 and 20 kilometers an hour at that setting, and it'll decide the direction as soon as we start the session. Here's what Velikov is seeing right now with his in-car view, assuming he doesn't have all this stuff off the screen. He got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane when he was coming in for a stop. So unless he serves that, that'll stay. No ramifications this session if he does not serve that. Goga again. 3.5 left. Velikov and Goga going side by side through turn 1. Velikov making a pass around the outside. Goga yielding, I presume. Goga letting Krom push through. Both Krampush and Velikov with the same team. Both with Race Green Autosports. Travis Wilbur, with just over 30 seconds left. This will be his last lap of the session. Everyone is entitled to complete the lap in progress at the checker flag, which will come in about 20 seconds. So everyone, looks like Steve Martin is coming out for a plugs test. He won't get to start a lap. Wilbur will be the first to finish the session with 3, 2, 1. Time has expired. Checkered flag has fallen. So Wilbur finishes with a 48.49. Patrick Hall takes a chance for pit stop practice. And we'll go to the flag stand view. The last 3 to set lap times comes across the line for actually Stephen Martin on his plugs test. So let's just see everyone come through the final through their cooling down lap. And head towards the pit lane. Some complete laps. So, take a look at the final results of this practice session. Patrick Hall doing 44 laps, setting a best of 47.90 on his 23rd lap. Ronnie Krampus for Race Green Autosports, 56 laps, setting a 47.97 best. 54 laps done by Mikhail Velikov, 47.98. 48.01 was the best out of the 43 laps Steve Martin did. Owen Harmon, 48.02 best lap out of the 26 he did. Kagash did 27 laps for 48.06. Jan Laperot did 22 laps for 48.07. 48.20 was the best that Travis Wilbur could set in 64 laps. And Branislav Goga, best of 48.33 on the 48th of 48 laps. So don't forget, you'll be able to watch the 7th annual Kyoto 250 on March 30th. Stream will start around 17:45 UTC on simrace.tv. And also, we'd like to thank simautosport.com for their help promoting the last few rounds of GT World Series. We'll look to start working with them a little more here in the future on our events, not just in LFS, but other simulators. So, just figured to give you a little, serves as a test for my new computer, test streaming to YouTube. It's a little something extra we can throw on YouTube. We'll be on simrace.tv this weekend. The next practice session will not be broadcast, but we will definitely be in for some more things here on the NDR YouTube channel, not just live streams, but maybe some other highlight packages. So, thanks for joining us. We will see you Saturday on simrace.tv stream 3, starting at around 1825 UTC for Twin 115 Race 1 and continuing through both Twin 115 races. So long, everyone.